I don't mean to be dramatic, but I created this whole podcast because of him. I think there's always shame in not being conventional. I've always had these instincts, these desires that the world tells me I have to suppress. The feminine nature of chaos and creation that transcends morality is something so precious every woman has. Sadly, it has been forgotten. And it is there where our power resides. Being a Lynchian girl means dancing with our light and shadow equally, and accepting that part of us that is natural and not artificial. And nature can be painful, cruel, manic. Except those are all adjectives created by men to describe that which is sinful. Nature is not sinful and will never be, because it has existed before men even felt guilt or remorse. If sharing the taste of her beautiful rose-tinted lips is a sin, most importantly, sharing the depths of her soul and naked body. And what about leaving her behind after taking this magical gift she has given you? Isn't that a sin too? Taking, leaving the Lynchian girl all alone and empty. Her beauty is a weapon. It strikes against her enemies, but also against her innocence. I want to create art as powerful as his, him being David Lynch. Art that honors human truth. Hell isn't some horrifying place in the underworld. Hell is here, and it can coexist with someone else's heaven. I lived in hell for many years, and I'm just starting to create heaven for myself. But heaven isn't what I thought it would be. It's not where one becomes pure. It's where we can simply be in all of our forms and surrender to nature and its most organic desires. Nature is one with the divine. To suffer, to cry, to feel anger is our divinity igniting a fire within us. People don't talk about suffering as much as they should. They are afraid of it. They are afraid that it will cause more suffering. They are afraid of calling it and manifesting it. I do believe in manifesting one's desires, but I also believe you cannot manifest something that is not meant for you. What you desire should desire you back. So, I accept my past, present, and future suffering as part of a divine plan. My depression started when I was 13 years old, but I felt sadness long before that. So I started writing at a really young age because I didn't know what to do with it. And it's so lonely being sad at that age, when everyone is meant to be happy and not have a care in the world. I broke a lot of hearts during my sadness. Not only the hearts of boys, but friends, family. I broke many hearts. And every time I get my heart broken, I feel like I'm paying my karma. Like nature is restoring balance. And I had no reason to be sad. That's what everyone thought. Us lynching girls are masters at deceiving. We suffer in silence. For a while at least. I knew what was going on in the world. I wasn't naive as I portrayed myself to be. I knew things I shouldn't have known at that age. But I did have everything. The parents, the siblings, the friends, the house. But I longed for more. I longed for fire. I longed for secrets, for a big storm. After a couple of years of experiencing loss and grief many times, I had nothing, or I felt like I had nothing. I wanted to disappear quickly, but never silently. I wanted to create the biggest fire I could so people would understand how much they hurt me, how much pain I was in. I wanted everyone to burn, to fire walk with me. So I ended up with nothing, just ashes of a past life. But I always loved. I never stopped loving. Even if I couldn't love myself, I loved others. I loved my friends even though I felt left behind. I loved my family, as broken as it was. And I loved boys, even though they couldn't seem to love me back the same way. And so I let myself sink into my suffering and got off on feeling pain. Pain to me was the equivalent of adrenaline dipped in honey. Even my dreams, as my soul roamed free at night, were filled with fire. And they started to turn into vague memories and creep into reality. Except this wasn't a dream for me. It was real. I have so many stories to tell, but telling them like this doesn't pay enough tribute to them. If I died tomorrow, I wouldn't die satisfied, but I would die a tranquil, pleasant death. What is left to live is what people don't dare to dream, because it's the life of gods and movie stars. But I will always remember the life that I had before. And out of all of that nothingness, I made everything. Because I am an alchemist, and all that fire forged gold. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Firewalk with Me. This was a special one. I wrote this episode the day that David Lynch died. I was deeply touched and moved and very emotional. I smoked 2 cigarettes and drank a glass of red wine alone in my room while listening to the soundtrack of Twin Peaks. And I felt like it was the end of an era. It was the end of a phase of my metamorphosis. And I wanted to put this episode out to pay tribute to my past life, to all my past versions. because I feel like this is the year where I finally become a woman, and I finally accept myself for who I am. And I used to feel so ashamed of my pain and my suffering, but after Lynch died, I realized it is my pain what has kept me going, because it doesn't have the power to destroy me. I'm always reborn after every fire. So thank you for listening to this episode. It means so much to me. And if you can relate to anything that I said, please don't doubt in texting me, DMing me, commenting. Please rate this episode, like, subscribe. I love you. Thank you for being here, and see you on the next episode of Firewalk with Me.